Okay, hello my darlings, it's Michaela. So I just wanted to do a quick video about ketone supplements. Basically taking ketones to get you in the state of ketosis. And the thing that I would like to share is that it's bullshit. So ketones, what do I want to say? Exogenous ketones are basically ketones that we're taking from outside of the body and putting them in. Endogenous ketones are ketones that the body creates by breaking fat down. So carbohydrates get broken down into glucose for fuel. Triglycerides, which is what fat is, gets broken down into ketones for fuel. Great. The big thing is that essentially when you're taking exogenous ketones, you're putting like fuel on top of fuel. And so it can make sense, sound good in some respects to just like give your body ketones, but absolutely not if you are also having a high carbohydrate diet. That's disaster. Like high carb, high fat is weight gain fast. And so it doesn't make sense for your body to have a lot of glucose and a lot of ketones at the same time because it only needs really like one type of fuel. And if your body was actually able to create ketones from breaking down the fat on your frame, which is generally why people want to get into a fat burning mode, the body wouldn't be doing that if it had access to glucose. The body is lazy, it is efficient, it's logical, and this is why carbohydrates are such an easy fuel source and why it takes a little bit of time to get your body into burning fat, and why generally when we get into that state, we have to lower carbohydrates, eliminate carbohydrates for some people's tactics, in order for your body to get resourceful. It actually takes quite a bit for your body to break down fat, and so it's just far easier for it to use glucose. So if it's present, it will. So for a lot of people that take exogenous ketones, whether that's, pills or powder drinking, they still eat carbohydrates or an ample amount of carbohydrates, a lot of people. And it's like, it just doesn't make sense for the body to actually use the ketones because glucose is so much easier. Anywho, so the big thing though, there's a few things. If people start to, what I wish is for this to make sense to other people, because the truth is when I first found out about this, I've heard about it years ago, but I really looked into it deeply just over a year ago. And I thought like, oh my God, like this sounds too good to be true. Like you can just drink something and be in a state of ketosis. That sounds crazy. Like knowing what I know about fat burning, how it's a process, how it works. It's like, this sounds mind blowing, but it's like, wow, all you people are so happy. But it's like all the people that are using the product are so happy, not just like scientists and other researchers like talking about it. So anyway, I did a deep dive on it. And the whole thing is that essentially it bypasses your body's ability to burn fat, because basically if you're just putting fuel on top of fuel, it's far less likely for your body to use fuel to break the fat down in order to create ketones. Ketones are just energy. So again, when people talk about like, oh, I just drank this drink and within 20 minutes, within 10 minutes, I have ketones in my blood or urine or whatever there's being assessed, breath, and I am in a state of ketosis. And it's like, well, actually, you just have ketones in your system, but you didn't actually create them by breaking fat down, which is really the goal. Like we really want to break fat down so we burn it, so we lose it, versus just putting ketones in our body. So it's kind of like, cheating on a test. It's like you got the A, but you still don't know anything. And it's like if the goal is actually to get knowledge, and that's what we're assessing, it's like, yeah, you got an A, but you still didn't read the book. You still didn't learn anything, which was the point. And so that's how I view this. Like, you now have ketones in your system, which is indicative of being in a fat burning mode, but it's actually not reflective of your state because you didn't create them yourself. And the goal in this scenario is to lose fat versus just have ketones in our system. Who fucking cares about that, honestly? Anyway, so that's problematic, or just kind of like nonsensical. And then the other bit I want to say is that for someone who's already in a fat burning mode, it's really quite an act of sabotage. So fat burning takes time. There are markers in time that indicate different, depths of being in this mode. So it takes like 9 to 10 days to get out of a sugar burning mode into a fat burning mode. At week 3, you're experiencing about 80% of the benefit. At month 6, you're experiencing about 90, and at a year plus, you're experiencing 100%. And the whole deal, why it actually takes this amount of time, is because your body is reconfiguring itself. It is making new mitochondria that are set up to burn fat versus old mitochondria, the powerhouse of our cell, that are used to burning sugar. So it's like we actually need new machinery, and that takes time to get fully established. So anyway, so as a fat burner, the reason why you would never want to take these is because you have taken yourself, or someone has taken you through. Please check out Fat Burning Pro should you wish to be ushered into this magical state and hopefully stay there forever because it feels easy and comfortable. Please check that out in the description. But anyway, you've gone through the process of, lowering carbohydrates and training your body to break fat down to use as energy versus being on this sugar drip of glucose like most of the planet. So you've done this work, and your body has done this work. And so it's like you've experienced the benefit of being less hungry, not having cravings, having plenty of energy, having a more robust immune system, having sounder sleep, having more even and generally upbeat moods. You've slowed aging, you have a better hormonal profile, your health is generally like improved, and essentially it's like you've won. You've been rewarded for your efforts. And then if you take exogenous ketones like a pill or a drink, what you're doing is you're bypassing the grooming that you have set up. So your body actually no longer, to a greater or lesser degree, has to keep breaking fat down for fuel. It's like, oh, it's right here, I'll just use this. But the whole deal is that the last thing you want to do ever, and the last thing you want to do especially because you've gotten yourself in this mode, is cut it off at the knees. It's like suddenly your body doesn't need to break fat down because you're just giving it the fuel through a drink. That's pricey. So anyway, so I just thought to share this because I think that this can be kind of a shiny object that people get disoriented about, and I was as well. Like I said, I did a ton of research. It was so confusing to me. I reached out to a scientist that I follow and just kind of asked him, like, is this beneficial for fasting? Is this beneficial for long distance athletes? Like, what's the population that this might serve fully? And his comment back was the same thing as to why like a ketogenic diet was originally created, which is like potentially for epileptic children. And it's like, and kind of no one else. It's like, oh my goodness. Okay. So anyway, maybe my final statement, which I think I haven't made yet, which is just the fact that like our bodies are so securely designed to not die. It's our highest priority. First, not die, and the second one is reproduce. So fat is harder to access so we don't die. And so basically glucose is super easy because we still have fat on our frame. So if we give ourselves the like equivalent to this fat, our body will not break this down because in its mind, it's like, oh good, you know, you can live a little longer with no food in the wild. So we have to, what do we have to do? Basically, we have to set it up so it doesn't have another option. And that's what we do in Fat Burning Pro, should you wish to check that out. But that's what happens when someone legitimately gets into a state of ketosis. The body has to get resourceful. Otherwise, it wouldn't break this down. This is not easy to access. Totally possible. Feels great when you do, but it takes a little bit. All right? So if we were just to, you know, pop a drink, it's like the body's like, oh goody, you know, I get to store this stuff. So anyway, that's the deal. So I just wanted to share that. This is something I uncovered a little while ago, and finally made a podcast about it and thought to make a YouTube video as well. All right, I hope that was useful. Please be in touch for any reason. Should you have any questions about fat burning, about ketosis, about ketones, please be in touch. Please check out Fat Burning Pro if you're someone that understands the benefits of being in a fat burning mode and would like to do it in a manner that feels really comfortable. Our approach is very elegant as far as I'm concerned. People never go hungry, and we just transition the body gently, so that you kind of have this win-win situation throughout, including carb feasts with regularity. All right, that's it. Love to all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention, and